Hey, this is Doctrine and Gas, and here's our week. We're in week five power ranking video. It's me and Area Bella, which is
Coach for the Memphis
yeah,
Melodics.
she is, and she's basically gonna be dealing with the battle breakdowns. I'll be dealing with the team breakdowns. So our first team that's up right now, which is already should already be on the screen, is the Edison Meloetas. And this team is a very bulky team. Everything on the team seems to be geared towards defense. You have a Chansey, which is ridiculous. You have Ferrothorn, which is known to be a pain if you're not carrying fire. A Mola Mola, which is very physically bulky. Charizard X, which is a nice mixed Pokemon there. It can either be a sweeper or it can be a really good wall. And then I think the trump card in the defense department that I would say is probably Aromatisse, because Aromatisse has so much utility, so many things it can do. Once it sets up screens, it's very hard to kill even with a poison type. And another really good Pokemon that's on this team that's very bulky as well is Araquanid. Some of the sweepers on the team would be in my. I mean, I've seen defensive Meloetta recently, and some of the other leagues that I've watched. But sweeping Meloetta was the most common to me before, and this team has a serious rock offensive core. I would say it has the Lichen Rock. I forget, is it midday or is it Lichen Rock Dawn? Dawn
It's
Lichen Rock.
Dusk.
Yeah, Dusk. That's what it is. And then it has
Yes,
Terrakion.
the Dusk one.
It's Terrakion, which is a Scarf Beast. I'll toss this over to her so she can explain her breakdown of how their match went this week, if there was a match.
Sarah, or Kitty's side of the match, she prepped really well. The only issue is that, and I actually talked to her after her match, and she said her issue was that when Tapu Koko on Nuki's side fell, it kind of let her lose a chance to set up with a different Pokemon, I think, and then as well as the Beast, and she had no check for it after Iraq when it went down. Like that was it. Iraq when it's always the Beast, though. Good luck, or not Iraq. Hoopa Unbound's always a beast, though. So good luck whoever faces in this upcoming week.
Right, yeah. Hoopa Unbound under electric terrain, I didn't expect to see that sweep through. And that was something that Mookie actually didn't even plan. He did it by accident. He actually hit the panic button and went into Hoopa, and it just worked out for him. Which seems to be
Well,
his
good
weekly
on
thing.
him.
They
probably one of the newest best battlers in the league. Well, I'm sure Sarah's gonna climb up this.
Yeah, she'll probably climb up very soon, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully, she gets her match done either today or tomorrow, and we'll see what's going on with Week 6. The next team is the Portland Politoads, and this team right here, this team is built very interesting. It has probably one of the most offensive Pokemon in the game. It has Porygon Z, which we know with the introduction of Normalium Z can be a problem with Z. What was it called? Freaking Z. What? What's it called?
It's a big problem.
Yeah, I forget what it is. Z something. I can't think of the name of Z freaking conversion. Z conversion, which can be a problem. I think I won this week because he Z converted into. Or I might have lost this week because he Z converted. So I'm not sure how it went, but.
Oh, you battled him for Week 6?
No, I think I'm getting ready to battle him for Week 6, but I can't remember. I think I went up against this Porygon before.
Conversion's allowed in the league because there's no OTZ moves allowed.
Yeah, the Omni Boost. Luckily, there's no Omni Boost allowed. But if it was, this would be threatening. But this thing is still a scary threat because it does get Z Hyper Beam, which is broken. Z Hyper Beam can pretty much punch a hole in anything, and unless you have a Steel type to resist it or a Rock type, it pretty much is gonna punch a hole in whatever's standing in front of it. And he also in this team he has the Mega Beedrill, which is one of my favorite Megas. I love Beedrill in the original generation, and when he got a Mega, I damn near shit bricks. I'm not gonna lie.
He drafted it for Week 5, right?
Yeah, he just drafted it, and that thing is a monster. It literally doesn't have to do anything but U-turn. It can literally just U-turn and cripple a team. and add momentum at the same time is a crazy pivoter. And this guy's team has a lot of U-turners. He has a volt turn possible core out of three of his mons can learn volt switch, which is Porygon Z, I believe, learns volt switch, which I'm pretty sure. Um, Magnezone learns volt switch, and so does Lantern. And then he has five Pokemon that can learn U-turn. So he has two options for slow U-turn and three options for fast U-turn. And so he is
Voltron Squirtle.
Yeah, his Volt turn core can be very threatening. And he has the Clefable there, which we all know, unaware Clefable is very broken. It can deal with a lot of stuff. It can deal with a lot of stuff. He has a couple of sweepers. I'm not sure what he's going to do with Beware. I personally have used Scarf Beware, even though he's very slow. Scarf Beware, once you take out some key speedy mons, can actually punch holes through teams because he has a very high attack stat. And his typing is very interesting. Quick. What'd you say?
Sticky Webs, Mega Beedrill with Beware.
Yeah, that's a thing, but most people don't carry Sticky Webs on it because it can't take a hit. Mega Beedrill is like a extreme glass cannon. It's very specially defensive. It can take a Thunderbolt. It can even take like a special rock type. But anything physical, this thing just dies. To me, it's like the first Ultra Beast because it has this similar stat layout to the Ultra Beast where it has one stat that's very low and it happens to be defense. It was very scary. But let's see what the next. Oh yeah, I forgot you have to do the breakdown for
the video.
Yeah,
there's no video for this particular team due to showdown malfunction, which it happens every now and then. I do know with the Portland Politos, I believe they did lose this match, or they lost due to inactivity. It was something along those lines.
Right.
Which is really exciting because this is a really good team. So hopefully, whoever picks up this team, whichever coach did it, which I believe we actually a newcomer just picked it up for week 6. So yeah. she made a few changes, but hopefully we'll see some good things.
I agree. Let's see what the next one is. This is the third from the bottom, which is me. And this week I actually lost outright to her. I lost to her due to toxic spikes. And as a result, this team here is actually an updated version of what my team actually was. I dropped 2 Pokemon off due to her because I found out in my match against her that Toxic deals with my team very well. And fighting type attacks deal with my team very well, which I already was aware of, but had a bunch of ways around it. But now I have an even better way around it, which I added Slowbro in, which is a freaking physical monster. And added Alolan Muck because Alolan Muck is very specially defensive. It can absorb Toxic Spike, so I shouldn't have a Toxic Spike problem anymore. And it also gets priority in Shadow Snake, and it's a poison type, so that deals with fairies, resists a lot of fairy type hits, which was another issue with my team. I was very weak to fairy. And so I just covered some weaknesses, took some things out. I dropped a Cacturn, and I don't remember who else I dropped. They must not have been that important because I don't miss them. So that's how that went. She can do a breakdown of our match if she would like to, but we're kind of like we kind of know how we went down. And most people, actually, most of the league.
We can talk about what you brought. Like, one thing I was fearing that he did not bring was that Gyarados. He told me he did plan on bringing it with a sub-toxic set, but what I really feared was that sub-D-Dance set, but luckily he did not bring it, because sub-D-Dance Gyarados just tore through my team, which it really allowed, as well as he has 1, 2, 3, 4 Intimidators.
Yeah.
And, I practiced several times for this battle, and I had a friend who used all 4 of the Intimidators, and man, it drove me nuts.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't typically bring all 4 of them. The reason why I actually have 4 Intimidators is actually by accident. I wanted Moxie Boost on my Crocodile, which means I'll probably only use Anger Point maybe about 1 time, and I might use Intimidate maybe about 1 time. Gyarados was actually a last minute pick. I was looking for something that could wall fighting types, and at the time I did not realize that Slowbro was still available. So I made a quick pick, and due to his Intimidate, I said, you know what, I'll take him. So I just went straight for the Gyarados. Not plus I needed a water type on the team anyway. So I said, why not?
Gyarados was a good choice, man.
It was. It was a
Gyarados
great
was a good
choice.
mon.
Yeah, it definitely was, and I should have. I needed to have more of a versatile. Like the way my team is built now this week is how it should have been built the first week. The way that my team is laid out now, because now I have everything that I needed that was missing. And it took me. I was probably one of the only people who went all the way to week 5 without making not one change to my team. And it took that battle for me to make an extreme change because I realized I said, okay, something is missing from my team. I just don't know what. And in that battle, I realized what it was. And this team is probably the team I should have had. Yeah, I had to get rid of the toxic, and I needed something. I needed more mons that could protect against fighting type attacks. And what's crazy is this week I don't believe I brought anything that protect against fighting type attacks. I really didn't. I don't think that I even thought that you would bring your what's the name against me because I have so many ways to kill it. I didn't think you was gonna bring it. I thought that you were gonna probably leave it where it was at. The only thing I really feared that was gonna do crazy damage was Sylveon. That's what I was really scared of.
Sylveon didn't really do the deed for what you had, in my opinion. He tore apart your team because it had Poison Jab for the Tapu Bulu. It had Drain Punch for Explode and the Incineroar and everything else. It could have Thunder Punch for and the Gyarados, and then Drain Punch for the Mega Manectric, because Mega Manectric's not going to live the Drain Punch from a pure power Mega Manectric. I'm sorry, but it's not.
It probably would have because mine was actually I always EV my and this is something that a lot of people probably won't know, but I always EV my Manectric a little bulky because Manectric's natural speed once it Mega evolves is faster than I want to say a good 90% of the game without investment. So a lot of times I don't go max speed with him because there's no purpose. He outspeeds everything naturally. So I usually go a little bulky, and when people typically think he's not going to live something, but they don't look at his stats and realize he actually isn't very frail. And the intimidate, coupled with the intimidate and a little bit of bulk, he can live some stuff and dish out a very heavy thunderbolt or a very heavy flamethrower or a very heavy signal beam. And even if he does die, he's going to punch a hole in something before he goes. He doesn't need all the speed because many things don't outspeed him. He outspeeds a good amount of Scarfers without speed. Mega Manectric is very fast. He's up in the top tier of speed. I think he's base 130, 145 or 135, something around there. He's up there in speed. Let's go on to the next one. The next team here is the Southern Swallows. The Southern Swallows, I forget who's the team. This week, they had a really interesting match because the Melodic actually got burned. It got burned, and it didn't have Marvel scale, which didn't make any sense to me. But to each his own. This team.
You're getting my territory. Back it up. I'm going to say something big about that.
Yeah, but let me break down the team. So this team here is very offensive. Everything on this team to me screams offensive. He has Cloyster, which is a shell smash monster. He has Cobalion, which is known to be scarfed or banded. Even what's it, Tornadus? Tornadus is very offensive. And he gets the prankster ability, which makes him even more annoying. He has Salamence. He has Nidoking. He has Mega Kangaskhan, which is also super offensive. And even his two slowest Pokemon are known to be offensive over being bulky. His I forget his name. What's the name of that freaking ground type right there? Freaking
Golurk.
Golurk. Yes, Golurk, and then there's the new Gen 7 bug that's not a bug. Freaking can never remember this thing's name because it's rarely ever seen, but it has one of the highest base stats I think in the game. I think it's like 20 or something. He has the highest base attack, and he doesn't really do well as a scarfer.
Highest base attack is 20.
No, I said he's in the top 20 highest base attack in the game. His base attack is like a dumb number. Let me look and see what his base attack is like. Stupid is really stupid. I think it's like 120 or something like that. What is this thing's name? I can't remember the name of it. It's called you know what the name of that thing is?
Golurk.
No, not Golurk. That bug. I mean, the grass type, the grass bug there. Freaking
Francis?
yeah, Lorantis. Because I believe Lorantis's attack. Lorantis attack.
Like base 90 or base 100 or something.
No, his attack is way higher than that. 105. I'm sorry, I'm mistook him for someone else, but he has base 105 attack. You know what it is? He has Solar Blade. That's what it is. Solar Blade is one of the highest base attacks in the game.
Move.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Highest base attack moves in the game. Solar Blade. And he also gets stabbed from it, and then Sun Boost and all of that good stuff. So he can do major damage. I'm so used to seeing him just do major damage. Togedemaru is really just there to fake out stuff, flinch things, set some paralyzing going on, and just die. And then he has his special wall right there, which is Florges. So his team is it's pretty balanced. I'm gonna throw it to her for her to do the breakdown on the battle.
So, in my biggest opinion, the biggest misplay for him was to not, for some reason, he did not bring Marvel Scale Milotic. He brought competitive Milotic when the opposing team did not have any form of Intimidator.
Yeah, it was strange.
I felt was just a poor choice, but maybe he thought something was going to happen, or I'm not entirely sure what his thought process was, but the Milotic, in my opinion, should have been Marvel Scale. And I should know, I love Milotic. I have like 1,000 sets of her. And then I'm not sure why he's not bringing that Nidoking. I feel like if he brought Nidoking, it would have been a lot.
Yeah,
the
he would get a lot more wins.
The differential might have been a little closer.
Yeah, it would have been because Nidoking punches holes in teams. I don't understand why. I'm undefeated with a Nidoking in another league. Let's go on to the next one. This is the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth place from the bottom. Mind you, we're doing these from worst to best. So this is the fifth place from the bottom. Worst team, which is the Damascus Cofagrigus. I don't know what Damascus is. I can't freaking pronounce that. Anyway, this team here, not too much to say about it. I don't remember if they actually had a match this week. I think they're actually a newer team. Not too much to say about this team. The team kind of has a sand team spread for me. Like everything in this team screams just weather. He has, the Dawn, Night, Lycan Rock. He has steel types and ground types and rock types and just stuff that's unaffected by weather. I'm actually surprised that he got this good of a draft. He was the one person that sniped me for my Zapdos, and that Zapdos was originally was going to take the place of my Mega Manectric. So I hope he uses it properly. But this team here is definitely just a sand team. I don't really have too much to say about it. There's a lot of sand rush on it and a lot of sand protection, and it's going to just chip away at teams. What do you have to say about this team in their battle this week?
All I have to say is that he did snipe Volcanion from me. I was the second person to draft in UU. My first choice is going to be Volcanion, but of course, Volcanion went in the first spot. But that's okay. But no video was recorded for this match. I think what happened is that I think this one he went on vacation, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe he went on vacation that week, and I
think. Which coach is this?
I can't remember which coach it is. I think is this Marcus? No.
Marcus, let's see.
I don't know. Is this Marcus? I'm not sure who I can't remember who this coach is, but he either went on vacation or I think they forgot to give theirs and they agreed.
Vacation or just and he went on that's Husum. He went on vacation previously, and that's okay because stuff happens. So we're gonna get a battle for week 5 and 6, hopefully within the next week, and we'll be able to see what's going on and what kind of team he's gonna be using.
Right. I personally haven't even battled this team yet. It's definitely a weather team, so weather can be troublesome if you don't really have a good plan for it. But it really doesn't seem like this team has too many different options other than some sort of weather. That's my problem. That's one issue I have with weather teams is that They typically are like one trick ponies. They have a little versatility, but they essentially do the same thing. On to the next one. This will be the sixth place from the bottom right here. This is the Crystal Bay Crocodiles. Their team is actually one of the best drafts that I've seen so far. The changes to the team have been amazing. He has the Lando. He has the Ultra Beast there, which is UB I think Wire, which is what's his name? Which is Zergatry. Zergatry. He has the he grabbed a really good Mega in Mega Scizor, which is also amazing. He has the Azumarill Belly Drum option. Um, he has one Pokemon that stresses me out, and I don't know why this Pokemon has always stressed me out. Mantine is so stressful. When they gave it that 30-point special defense increase in Gen 7, this thing soared from like nobody really thinking or caring about it to it just being a monster that's 4 times weak to an electric type attack and can still take like two. It's ridiculous. The thing can take like two thunderbolts and still be alive if you're not like something that's ridiculously strong. Even a 4 times attack isn't strong enough. Talonflame, which took a heavy nerf this generation, losing its unlimited spam of Brave Bird and limited to how much HP he has, which one high HP move. Another one here is Jolteon, which is another very versatile mon. I think was it me that went up against this guy? I think I watched this match. I believe he used like a Wish Jolteon or something crazy like that.
He used the Wish Jolteon, and he was able to get out really quickly past Wishes, which was a really good move.
Yeah, that was really good.
I'll talk about after you talk to T.
Yeah, that was really good. Gudra hasn't really done much this season. I haven't really seen his chest not do too much. His Ditto has just been falling on his face. I think he's brought it every week, and every week he brought it, it just fell on his face. Jinx is a new pick. He just added Jinx 2 along with Mantine, so I haven't really got a chance to see that. And he hasn't really been able to get the ball rolling with this thing Meteor really that much. So on that note, I'm gonna pass it over to her so she can do the team breakdown for this week. I mean, the match breakdown for this weekend.
Oh, number one misplay was double shell smash on the Minior. He was set up. He had the shields up. He was ready to sweep. Shell smash twice, allowing the Jolteon to volt switch on it, bringing it down to 10% HP, and then Arcanine proceeded to take it down with an extreme speed. That was a huge misplay, which misplays happen all the time. I misplay all the gosh darn time, and it happens.
Yeah, I think it was
just keep in mind, Minior is not the most defensive Pokemon without those shields, especially when it's set up with a Shell Smash. Another misplay that I happened to see, and that he played really well, especially with passing the Wish between Jolteon and the Minior, and then getting Toxic. I think it was Chestnut got a Toxic on something. I still remember what it was, but other than that one misplay that cost him the game, he played really well.
True. The next team is this where we come into the 3-way tie? I believe it's the
yes, 3-way tie starts now for the 8th place.
Right, and this is the Miami Heatran, New York Metas, and the Columbus Cragnos. So I'm going to do a breakdown of all three of these teams all at once, honestly. So the first ones I'm going to start with because they're at the top of the list is the Columbus Cragnos. Kroggunks. This team is extremely offensive. Haven't really seen a lot of defense. This guy just comes in, blows things back. That's just how he's just been playing. Just coming in, blowing things back. That's kind of how he's just been doing stuff. Everything in this is scarfable. Everything on this team is spexable or bandable. Only thing I can say about this team that I don't really agree with is he's very special heavy. Although his physical attacking Pokemon are very strong, this team really has a really powerful stance in the special department. I'm gonna go to the next one. The next one here is the New York Mets.
Yo, go
Oh no, yeah, no. I'm gonna let you just go ahead and do the battle breakdown for all three, since all three of them are just tied in
Thank
the
you.
middle.
This is the guy that set up turn one with the Haxorus.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna let you go ahead and say it. I'm gonna just go to the. I'm gonna do all three of the breakdowns, and then I'm just gonna let you go ahead and do the battle breakdown for all three of them. Uh, this is
Okay, go ahead.
yeah the New York Metas. Also, yeah, I'm sorry, we really didn't talk about that, but I forgot because it's never happened before, a three-way tie. So I just like that's new, but I guess that's the best way to handle it.
Keep going. As long as I can talk.
Yeah. Okay. So this team here, the New York Metas, has this team is odd. It's very bulky, but the stuff that does do damage does massive damage. And then he has that flinch option there with the Chinchino, which can be really annoying. That can be very annoying. He has the Victini, which can make some of the highest missing moves in the game very accurate. So that can make him a very good asset, especially Scarfed or Specs, or even Bandit. It has such a good spread out. Um, I don't really have too much to say about this team. I believe this team. I'm trying to think how this team would stack up against some of the other teams in the league, and it's just really odd to me. The whole team is very odd. Everything is kind of balancing off. It has no equal like weaknesses. Everything just kind of balances each other out in a very bulky defensive way. He has a lot of different core options, to be honest. On to the next one. The final one is the Miami Heat Tran. Now Miami Heat Tran. This team here is solid, super solid. This team actually excites me a little bit. It has some of the Pokemon that I should have thought about. Um, Garchomp is always a beast. Blacephalon should be banned. I don't know why we allowed that beast to be here. She's going to explain why. Starmie is really good as a spinner and really good as a special wall as well. Another option that he has here is the Mega Mawile, which is crazy. A Zelf, which is awesome. He is just really good minds. Savali, which I believe in this league we only allowed him to draft 3 of Savali's ability sets. I think he only has Dragon, Steel, and something else. But yeah, electric. So he's been using Savali very interestedly. It gives us something easy to prep for when you have he only can use 1 of 3, but it still causes a problem because technically, opposed to him having the normal amount of mines, he has 2 extra. Having Savali, 2 other extra type options to even consider when you're prepping. So on that note, I'm going to take this down to the Miami Heat trying to let her start there, and as she goes, I'll just add them in. So you can do the team breakdown for Miami Heat Trans.
You mean the battle breakdown? Battle breakdown. Miami Heat Trans. They had a really rough time because they actually fought. Who was it? The Miami Heat Trans. They fought the Columbus Crogunks, which was Reaper versus Lotus, and struggling against Lotus because Lotus set up turn 1, which we'll talk about when we get to his team. So the Miami Heat, his team got really broken down because Pokemon was able to set up, allowing it to just punch holes in his team, and then Gengar actually 4-0 at the end, which is a really rough week, which we've all had really rough weeks, but I feel like the differential could have been a lot worse if Reaper hadn't thought of something to close that gap, which good on him. The Blacephalon actually came in and it was able to get the Haxorus out. So good on him. The New York Metas, we do not have a battle video due to the showdown mishap, which is okay. It happens. If the New York Metas took the win this week, we just weren't able to get a battle video. And the Columbus Crogunks is probably my favorite match of the week because we all been told in a 6v6, do not set up turn 1. He opens up Haxorus and he sets up with a D-Dance. Not once, but twice he sets up. Because he knows those damage calcs. He knew Haxorus could take at least 1 hit. He set up twice, and that Haxorus stood there the whole team. I was very awesome job, Lotus, this week. I was very impressed.
All right, on to the next one. That's the end of the three-way tie there. Now we're jumping into the top 7 mons. We set 7 teams. So here's the 7 from the bottom. The Georgia Grumpigs. The Georgia Grumpigs has this team is just surprising me every week. I mean, it has some of the most interesting Pokemon in the game for me. Mega is an interesting option. I'm just starting to learn to respect that Pokemon. The Manachin is the god of one shots. Virizion is something I've been sleeping on since it even was brought to people's attention. Just fighting grass never seemed like a great combination to me, but I'm slowly starting to respect that, and she'll explain why. Roden Wash is godly. He has not been using the Mamoswine how I expect Mamoswine to be used. It's been used a very supportive way, not really as a sweeper or a heavy hitter, which is interesting. Volcarona is the missing pseudo legendary to me. I still don't know why in that game we got that thing and it wasn't even a pseudo, but it's an interestingly strong fire bug type, which is I think it's one of its only typings that it has existing. Um, Another thing here is the Celebi, which is very supportive, can be bulky, can be sweeping, does a lot, can be physical, very interesting. He has the uh, Poison Dragon type there, which is I can't remember the name of it right now, which is crazy, but I know it's typically a Scarfed or a Specs Pokemon, and it's very good in that aspect. It's really a toxic spreader, a spike setter. It just does a lot of those type of things. Um, Typhlosion is here, and everybody knows Typhlosion does kind of like a one trick pony, man. It's just scarfed, and then whatever it does after it's scarfed, pretty much. I think he has regular Sceptile. Or is it Mega Sceptile? He has regular Sceptile, which isn't interesting. Regular Sceptile to me isn't as good as Mega Sceptile, but I can see how he could probably make it a little better. Um, Hopefully he does something interesting with it. I've never seen Sceptile used, to be honest. And then we have Articuno, which I have a lot of experience in PU with Articuno. A lot of people sleep on it. Its typing isn't the greatest when it comes to rocks, but it really does do well when sweeping or when just walling certain things. The ice flying typing, yeah, it has a good amount of weaknesses, but it has a really good amount of resistances as well. So it's an interesting typing. Once rocks are gone, which I don't think he has 3 defoggers on his team. Once rocks are gone, this thing can kind of just stay there and do stuff. I'm gonna throw it over so she can explain the battle breakdown for how their week went.
This week the he brought Dragalge, he brought Virizion, as we already know. I believe he also brought the Rotom Wash. He brought a really more offensive team this week, even though I think Dragalge had Black Sludge or something along those lines. But the best play he made was seeing the opportunity with Virizion, and he set up knowing that he had that the battle he fought Solar this week. Solar had no check for Virizion, sadly. So he saw that opportunity in Zane, he took it. He set up with Virizion. Sword Stance up, and then just proceeding to just mop up the floor, just finishing up the game. But we kind of sealed the deal for the battle was when we made the misplay of sucker punching the Virizion, which gave it a whole other boost. But it was against the Emboar, which was the last. So, but still, it kind of was like the Hirsch. It was kind of like that cherry on top of a shake. But really good on Zane, good prep on his part. He was more than ready to battle, and he prepped really well.
I agree. Here's the number 6 spot from the bottom. The Das Moen Dialgas. The Dasmo and Dialgas they've been doing pretty good this season. They have some very interesting Pokemon. I think he's been hating his Necrozma since the beginning of the season. And to be honest, in a couple of his matches, if he had brought Necrozma, it would have been probably a little bit better with certain stuff. He has some really good sweepers. some very unconventional sweepers as well. In that, what does he have? I think he has the Heracross, which is a very unconventional sweeper. I think it's not even a mega. His mega is Gardevoir, but it's a very
Heracross is a huge sweeper.
no.
If
Well,
you
what I mean,
if you slap a choice scarf on it and give it Moxie, it's gonna sweep.
yeah, it's gonna run through, but it's not a commonly used sweeper in a while. Like not in this generation. It hasn't been used a lot because the bug typing is so heavily resisted by Fairy. It's just not. And then Fairy's here. He's a fighting type. It's just very hard to get him rolling unless you can get certain stuff out of his way. And that's why his usage actually went down recently because he can't break fairies. He has a hard time breaking fairies unless he's in this mega form where he gets
like he's got poison jab, but the only issue is that it's not stab. He can't kill anything without that +1.
Right, and most fairies just one shot him, so he pretty much just has a hard time. That Hoopa is always either going to be Scarfed or Eviolite. I think that's pretty much the only two options you can have for a Hoopa. When you're dealing with Gliscor,
not an evolved form. It's just another form. Eviolite. I don't think there's a point putting Eviolite on Hoopa.
Nah, I believe it does. I think Eviolite does work on Hoopa. I'm not quite sure. It may. You might be right, but I could have swore it did because I think I've used Eviolite Hoopa before. I think it does count as an evolved form.
And is considered just an alternate form.
Okay. Well, maybe it doesn't need it then. I know he has really low stats, so that's weird as an alternate form. He's so weak. That's pretty much all I have to say about this team, to be honest. What do you have to say about the battle layout? I know you just had that the whole conversation.
I would say Techno did his best. He prepped really well. If he brought the Necrozma, it would have been a lot better. Just like you said, it would have been a lot better. There was a point where Kartana was in, but Kartana just couldn't do the job very well. But just like you said, if he brought the Necrozma, it would have been a lot better because it might have been able to stop the Virizion sweep altogether.
True.
Virizion, who's already set up and said and forced it out.
I agree.
If he had brought I forget the name, it's form. The Dusknoir. If he brought the Dusknoir, it might have helped as well.
Yeah.
Because that would allow him to Will-O-Wisp it, and it's immune to the... And then, if you give it some defense, it could take at least one Leaf Blade or whatever, and then it could burn it, hopefully. But, But then again, who expected Virizion to sweep?
Nobody respects that Pokemon. I don't understand. Now I'm starting to respect it, but I literally didn't expect that out of it. And like I said, Necrozma would have saved him a lot. Okay, on to the top 6.
He played very well for what he did bring.
He did play very well, extremely well. We're at the top 6 right now, so these are the top 6. The first of the top 6 is the Durham Duskulls. This team here is not too much to say about it other than the fact that you cannot keep any kind of hazards up on this team. This team has a lot of rapid spin, a lot of defog. There's no hazards going up on this team. He has the perfect balance of bulk with frail. All his sweepers are very frail. All his bulky mons are very bulky. Everything is kind of like straight down the middle with this team, and I think that's why he's so high up, is because he has such a really good layout. He has an amazing core in Celesteela Registeel and Arcanine, which even though they're both weak to ground, Arcanine can take ground type attack very well, outrageously well. And even if he did decide to say, well, never mind, he has Shaman there as an option to eat a ground type attack and still be offensively powerful.
Latios and Aerodactyl and Rodon Fan.
He has very good options when it comes to just avoiding ground type attacks. So his core is pretty much protected in any way. And it does get the Intimidate, so that does help with absorbing anything ground type as well. So his team is very balanced. That's all I really have to say about it. You can go with the battle breakdown of this week.
Well, Bob, I think the team, right? This is Boppet?
Yeah, I think I got
Yes, this is Boppet. Boppet played extremely well. He prepped perfectly. He knew what checked what he could bring in against what that would force the other Pokemon out. And he set up Rock's first turn knowing that he would do that because his opponent turned core going. So he set up Rock's first turn to...
Sorry, no, I'm recording a video.
Really well.
Are you outside of
the Rock's first turn really will the team. So he was able to come in and sweep it. I believe it was the Excadrill was able to get a little mini sweep off. But as well as let me pull up his team real quick. Okay. Arcanine did really well. You know, Arcanine came in and it walled a couple of things. But I think his main sweeper had got to be the Ice Beam from Tapu Fini. Ice Beam kind of wrecked a few lives as well as a Scald Burn here and there. But prep on Boppet's turn, knowing what could come in and what could not come in. That was really good prep.
I agree. On to the next one. Here go the top 5. Here in the 5th place we have the Memphis Milotic, which is you, and I think we
I thought it was 4th.
Nah, you're at 5th. No, wait, pause. Are you? You're at 4th. You're right. You're 4th place. We're at 4th. I thought we was in top 5. We're at the top 4. Yeah, that's you.
Place.
Hold up. Yeah, that's you. You're 4th. And I mean, we've already really talked about you. Really, I don't know what else to even say about your team. Your team is just very solid. Super bulky. When I was prepping for it, all I was worried about was bulk, and I didn't expect the toxic spikes at all. I didn't even expect you to bring Garbodor to begin with. So that caught me off guard. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Well, what do you have to say about your team?
Well, I brought the Garbodor because it walled the Tapu Bulu. It was a max HP, max defensive set. To come in on Tapu Bulu and say F you to Tapu Bulu, as well as to set up those toxic spikes. I knew you didn't have a Cleric, or if you did, it wasn't like my team could handle your Cleric and laugh at it in its face. So I knew toxic spikes had to come up, as well as I was afraid of that little fairy bug.
Yo, you talking about my Rabombi?
I'm scared of the Rabombi, so I knew Rabombi is his main defogger if he brings it. And he's gonna have to if he doesn't want, like, rocks or whatever to be set up. I knew that if he was, because Sticky Webs against my team is really good. I'm not gonna lie, it is, because I have naturally very slow Pokemon. I knew he had Sticky Web option, so I wanted to be able to set up hazards on his side, or to either force him defog to get rid of Sticky Webs, or just etc. But I didn't really think toxic spikes would be an absolute priority, but then I realized, I was like, this is really withering down his team. I better keep them up. But I've made some really good decisions in getting the Jirachi and the Meowstickin and swapping it out for the Heatran and the Whiscash. Better since I got the Jirachi. Hopefully I'll be able to run Iron Head, King's Rock, and a Thunder Wave set eventually.
True. On to the next one is this is 3rd place spot. This is Impulse. Impulse has phenomenal weeks since we started. He does 0 prep, which he keeps saying over and over again. He does 0 prep, and his team just keeps pulling stuff out. We've already spoke about his opponent when he did the. He basically just swept.
Unbound, just punched holes.
Just punched holes, man. His team is bulky. That's it. Bulky and just a lot of just.
That's hard hitting.
Yeah. The team doesn't care about speed. It just takes hits and then kills stuff. That's all it really does. He has like one speedy mod on his entire team. Everything else is just there to take hits and kill. What do you have to say about his match this week? I know you already spoke about it one time.
Like, he tried to set up with the Dragonite. It didn't work out very well. So he tried to set up, I think, with the Dragonite, didn't work out, so with the plan B, that was Hoopa, and Hoopa worked out very, very well for him. Sadly for Sarah, but as we already know, Sarah's going to climb that ladder, and hopefully they'll be able to face each other in the finals if Sarah wins the rest of her matches. So hopefully she'll be able to get some revenge.
Right, hopefully. Here's the top two teams right here. Number 2 is the Saskatchewan Slow Bros, which
Let's go watch some Slow Bros.
I forget who that is. That's
Saskatchewan.
Who is that? That's Wire, is it? No, it's not Wire. That's I forget which coach that is, but this team really, to be honest, that Celestial has been carrying the whole team. The thing just by the time it's done whittling your team down, he can come out with anything on his team and just finish killing you. That's when I battled his team. I came prepared to kill it. I killed it, and by the time I finally killed the Celestial, I was whittled down enough that his Mimikyu just finished me off. That's pretty much how all his matches have been going. What'd you say?
This is Dark PK.
Yeah, that's PK. Yeah, this is PK, and pretty much that's how all his matches have been going. He sends out Celesteela, it whittles stuff down, it goes back. You finally get it down. By the time it's down, you have to try to sweep or die. That's pretty much how things have been going. And I think it's pretty much how it's going to be all the way up into the finals of the league. Is if people don't come and take Celesteela out early in, your team's going to get eaten. What do you have to say about his match this week? Did he have a match this week? I don't think he did.
He had a match. No, he did not have a match, or he did, but we weren't able to get the showdown video. But it's okay because, like I keep saying, it happens. All I have to say is fuck Celesteela, and I'm not looking forward to fighting it eventually.
Let's go to number 1. Number 1 is Inferno, the Chicago Chimchars. And this team, honestly, has just been one pain for the entire league. I think Karen Black's been killing everything. And that's pretty much how it's just been going. Just Karen Black killing everything. And that's how it's probably going to be to the end of the game as well. And this week... This week he took out somebody took out Karen Black. I can't remember who it was that he was battling. Took out Karen Black, and then Lil Punny just finished up. So that just seems to be the formula.
All takes.
Oh yeah, pretty much. That's just how everything's just been going. And
Karen Black came in, punched holes, and then Mega Lil Punny just cleaned everything up with the broom.
Yep. Okay, so I have to get ready to go. I'm gonna hurry up. I'm sorry. That wraps up the power ranking for this week. This week was actually a new formula that we tried, and I actually like it. I like it a lot, and hopefully the coming weeks me and her can continue to do this. We're gonna go get out of here. This is Dark Trend of Gas, and this is.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.